Hey guys, what's on this Talk Forest TV? We are back. To my left, I've got Mr. Turton and Luke.
Morning all, morning all.
Obviously, in this new episode series, that we are wanting to dive into the fans and actually wanting to for them to actually talk about why they got into Forest and what makes Forest be so unique to them. I mean, I know with Luke, he'd probably be supporting them a lot less longer than I have, but what done for you to be supporting Forest?
Well, my dad supports Forest, so I just kind of followed suit, really. And I mean, when in the first two seasons I actually started going, we ended up in the playoffs twice in the Billy Davis. So it wasn't all then. Basically, after that, mayhem happened, and you just kind of ride it out and hope at some point the kind of promotion comes at some point soon. You know, managers have tried, managers have failed, but that's just kind of football, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, ever since that them two playoffs, it just seemed to be like you said, been mayhem because it's either been fighting off relegation or the Forest year, so it just seemed that something seemed to be happening every season with Forest.
Well, let's be honest. The board dropped a new one when they got rid of Billy Davis after the Swansea playoff game and hired Steve McLaren as his replacement. I mean, there could not have been a more worst fit as a manager than Steve McLaren at Forest. I mean, you're sort of setting yourself up then for the kind of Cottrell, and then I think O'Driscoll followed Cottrell, which marginally that was the only other bright spark for many years afterwards, because then we had Friedman. I'm sure, no, it was McLeish, then Billy Davis, then Pearce, then Friedman.
Yeah.
That's right. And I mean, we've had some decent spells of players, but non-consistent like Majewski and Earnshaw.
Yeah.
We had a bit of Antonio and Sombalonga for a bit, but I mean, when your club's turning more into a sell your best players to keep the club going instead of keeping them around and building the squad, then we're always going to struggle.
I completely agree. I mean, those days under Davis, when you had that squad where we probably needed that one or two extra signing just to push us forward as well.
We needed to sign Nicky Shorey. If we got Nicky Shorey, we'd have got promoted automatically. The minute he left, the whole thing just went downhill. Because he was a player.
He was, to be fair. I mean, he had that know-how, what, not disrespect to what Bertrand, but he had the know-how what was needed.
Well, let's face it. We went from Nicky Shorey to Ryan Bertrand to Paul Konchesky. And then Cohen filled in there for a bit and did well. Then got injured. Then we failed to have a left back for a couple of seasons. Then, if I get this in the wrong order, I apologise, but it was something along the lines of Panios, Jokic, and
We had that other left back as well, where he got injured against Barnsley. That really nasty injury.
Oh yeah, then if you fast forward a bit, then you've got Armand Traore.
Well, he was.
And then the one you're thinking of is Juan Fuentes. But arguably, since Julian Bennett retired, I class Nicky Shorey, Bojan Jokic, and probably now Max Lowe, as being the only 3 players to rival Julian Bennett. Because, all right, Chris Combs was a makeshift left back, but he wasn't actually a left back. So I don't really class it in the same category.
Don't forget Ben Osborne played there a couple of times as well. I know he started out as left back as well.
Yeah, but again, Ben Osborne was more kind of a attacking midfielder, kind of stroke wing. He played left back. I mean, Jack Colback played left back. We're going on about players that filled in there. Eric Lehigh played left back.
We all know Matt will stick up for Colback playing left back.
Matt Wilkinson probably will stick up for Jack Colback playing in goal.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that left back situation seemed to be going around as this left back situation seemed to be like forever going around over the last few years. I mean, lucky enough we filled it at the minute, but for how long?
Again, I missed out a few.
Thought you did.
Ribeiro, Yarnu, Blackett. So many have now tried at Forest, and I think for this season we've found Max Lowe. But again, it wouldn't surprise me if in January we get another left back in the shape of Lee Buchanan.
Yeah.
Anyway, this isn't a current one, is it? It's a past one.
Yeah. I mean, it's completely funny how the left back situation just funny. I mean, we have seen some left backs at the club which you think, right, okay, I mean, you look at Bonner and you think he won't be in the same category as probably like anyone else.
I mean, we've had some players that have looked rubbish, to put it mildly. And I can always remember the strange season under Montania, where we had Hildeberto Pereira, Paitim Kasami, Nicolau Dumitru, Mustafa Carriol, Lika, Nicholas Bentner, Postolos Velios, Vladimir Stojkovic, Thomas Lamb, Damian Perkis.
I mean, Hildeberto Pereira weren't a fullback. I mean, he just put him there and played him there. I mean, you had, if I could say you could play left back, weren't a left back.
But again, you look at the period between McLaren and arguably Sabri, we've had no real structure. It's gone from experience to good with kids to foreign manager to kind of club legend and back again. And I think what happened with kind of the squads and the ever-changing dynamics didn't help. If I was to name my top 5 managers at Forest, which would be difficult because obviously I'm going from about 09-10. So Billy's got to be the top for his first spell. Then O'Driscoll.
I mean, he was very unlucky to get sacked when he did because he just got Forest playing.
Yeah, you just got him gelled and then they sacked him, which was criminal from Fatwaz. But then again, some people believe that he was already sacked before that game, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, my third one, I enjoyed Warburton for a bit. football. Stuart Pearce was okay for a bit. And arguably, I have to put O'Neill there because, controversial opinion, let's get the flashing light going. I actually liked Martin O'Neill as Forest manager.
I think quite a lot of people did. It was just, was it too late for Martin O'Neill to come in?
No, I think if we'd allowed Martin to carry on his business and set up the side how he wanted to, I think it'd have worked.
Mm.
It was half a season we gave O'Neill and then pushed him out. Now all the fans can come back. All the fans can come back at me and go, "Oh yeah, but he was a dinosaur. Blah blah blah. He's in the same category as Houghton. Blah blah blah." But he's not. Arguably, we played some of the best football for some time when O'Neill came in. Again, I liken it a bit like Steve Cooper, where we didn't go 1-0 down and think we've lost this game.
Mm.
The game that sticks in my mind was
Swansea. When Murphy and Wadhu scored.
That was it. The one where Wagai came on and scored from that corner.
Mm.
But then there was also the 3-0 against Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Where just gonna put my tin hat on, where Carvalho played and played well. But again, we make so many mistakes. When you analyse João Carvalho's transfer, for £13 million, was it worth it?
Not really.
We brought in the other two, Gil Diaz and Diego Gonçalves. Then overused Diaz and hardly played Gonçalves.
And look at him now. I mean, he's thriving in this new position at right back.
Where was João Teixeira when we signed him?
Back a while.
That was Gary Brazil in the period between.
That was 2013, 2014.
It was before Warburton, so whoever was sacked, and then Warburton replaced.
It was around 2015, 2016.
But anyway, it was the same time we had Chibola, McCormack, Zach Clough, and
we had Britt as well, who just coming back from injury as well.
Gaboli Ariyibi, that was the other one. God, my memory is good when it comes to this sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, them signings, when McCormack signed, I thought, oh, what a signing. He scored against us, Matt Stormfist, but that one just never materialised at all.
Yeah, but we've done it so much now, haven't we?
Yeah.
McCormack, followed by Lee Tomlin, followed by Harry Arter. We bought players that scored against us and then just expected them to walk into our squad and perform without actually working out what actually made them tick. And this is the whole thing. You can support a team for what now? It's coming up to about 12 years. And within that time, you've gone from seeing a team where the managers gelled it together that much that if Majewski was out, McGugan could come in and play. If McKenna was out, you knew Moosey could do a job. You got Anderson, McCleary, and then
Cohen.
Yeah,
I mean,
Cohen.
Magoonin took part on the win as well.
But you've got players in positions. You've got Adebola, McGoldrick, Earnshaw, and Blackstock up front. You had
Tyson.
options. Who?
Tyson. I mean, Tyson could play up front or on the wing, so
Tyson. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I misheard exactly what you said the first few times. But you got the memories of the Derby game with a flag. You'd got the 5-2 game where we had Aaron Ramsey on loan.
Yeah.
You'd got the 5-something against Leicester. You've got the West Brom game where Majewski scored at the back post. Then you fast forward, you've got the 4-3 against Burton under Montagna. That was good.
Yeah, entertaining.
Followed by another 4 against Wigan. That was 4-3 as well.
Yeah, it was. Went 2-1 up to go 3-2 down to win 4-3.
But again, you've had the glimmers. But the problem was we tried under Warburton to do what we're trying to do now, but with players like Matt Mills. I mean, Matt Mills and Michael Mancian still give me nightmares now when they try to pass it around at the back and mess it up. I mean, the one that sticks in my mind was we played Preston under Karanka.
Yeah.
Just before deadline day, when he brought in Pantilimon, Lolly, I think Figueiredo was already there, or signed the day of that game. Watson and Colback.
Figueiredo stand that 2 hours before kickoff.
There was Watson and Colback. There was
Tomlinson that day.
There's about you get my drift. There's about 7 or 8 players that signed on that night. Effler, I think, was one that came in. Was he a bit later?
Yeah, he came in. Hef.
Yeah, I think he was the next season. I think he was a summer. But anyway, and that game, what struck me about that game was how bad we were at the back. And I believe that deadline day was when Michael Dawson was in the car park wanting to sign for Forest, and Hull pulled the plug.
Yeah, he did actually.
And then he signed the next season, and Dawson and Figueiredo for half a season were brilliant. I mean, an honorary mention, by the way, in my players going back the years, to Danny Collins, who was one of the worst centre-backs I have ever seen. He probably ranks 3rd under Mancian and Mills.
Yeah. Scored loads against us, but when he signed for Forest, they were like, I think he only scored once in 5 years.
But yeah, don't know exactly how much further you want me to go into our past, Dan.
No, I mean, it's really it's good that you remember all these towns. I mean, it's quite good because, I mean,
another one that will take fans back: the protest against Flowers.
Right. I was
Bristol
thinking
City,
yeah,
Bristol City at home, and weren't we losing or something for ages? Or no, it was 0-0, I think.
no,
And then we got the free kick.
yeah. Benny Osborne did that spectacular volley from it.
I mean, I think that just summed up the Osborne had a few moments for me. The Bristol City goal, the Derby goal, and the one against Leeds, where he hit it, and it was almost like a, yeah, everyone can shut up now kind of goal, that was. I mean, talking about fans and players like Osborne, we do like a good youth team scapegoat, don't we?
No, we get them all the time. I mean, it was
Osborne, Matty Cash, now it's Ryan Yates. I mean, I got into a bit of a heated debate over Ryan Yates with Sam, who was on our group.
Well, it was.
Because I said I was saying after, was it Barnsley?
Yeah.
That I wasn't that impressed with how he was playing. But arguably, I think he'll improve. But we have this mentality now that if we win, we can't see any more improvement because, oh, we've won, why can we not just enjoy it? It's the fact that the best sides don't just win and go, yeah, we've won. If there's something they've done wrong or there's something to improve on, they mention it. Just because one player has a bad game doesn't mean they're a crap player. They just had a bad game. But you can't just bury your head in the sand and forget about it.
I mean,
I wasn't.
I
wasn't Paul Anderson's biggest fan as a player, but at least he did a job when he needed to do a job. I mean, Nathan Tyson was one that played out wide a lot. What was your question anyway?
I was going to say, what would be your all-time 11 at the minute? I mean, from when you started watching for us.
Oh, Lord.
We did top 5 managers. What would be your 11 at the minute?
Doris de Vries in goal. Chris Gunter right back. Have we spent the money, by the way? I can do it now. Wes Morgan and Michael Dawson. Julian Bennett at left back. Although it was a little bit before I started, but still, he got us promoted, so he gets in my 11. Midfield. Ben Watson with then Chris Cohen and Majewski in front of him. To the left, I'm going to go with Antonio. To the right, and it was a close one, but I'm going to go Andy Reid. And then Earnshaw through the middle, because I think you could play him in whatever formation you wanted to and he'll still score goals. I mean, when you pick an 11 and you've done it the way I've done it, you then obviously don't get the likes of Somba Longa in there, Paul McKenna in there, Lee Camp in there, Nicky Shorey in there, which arguably was, as I mentioned before, one of the crucial pieces. I may as well keep going for 3 more now because I'm picking a bench by the sounds of it. I mean, I liked Matty Cash. Arguably, he could have been the right back. Then Guediora, he was decent. I like Gueds. And then I don't think I picked a keeper, have I? I picked Camp, I think. I don't remember. If I haven't picked a keeper, I'll go Breeze Samba. If I have picked a keeper, then I'm going to cheat and select another player, which is Danny Pinos.
Yeah, you did choose Doris.
Yeah, I chose Doris De Vries, but I couldn't remember if I put Camp on my bench or not.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, so I'd like to say thank you for coming on.
By the way, my favourite game was the 5-5 against Villa.
Yeah, that was to say. I forgot that.
Yeah. No worries. By the way, and also my favourite players were Earnshaw, Majewski, and Cohen. Right.
What?
And who?
Yeah, and if you never know, Luke's second team is Barnsley. I had to drop that one in.
Right. Okay. Cheers, Dan. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for watching.